Good evening. I'm Janine Schmidt. At the top of the hour, we're covering ballot measures. On November 5th, Coloradans are going to the polls to vote. One ballot measure is Amendment H. The Colorado Commission on Judicial Discipline was established with voters in 1967 and has not been reformed since. Questions voters will address on Amendment H are: does a change need to be made to create an independent discipline board for cases involving judicial misconduct, or does the existing system function well? And how will transparency and confidentiality unfold going forward? We'll turn to our very own backyard at Fort Lewis College to further understand Amendment H with expert Professor of Law Dominic Damper. We're entering the Political Science Department at Fort Lewis College. Help us better understand Amendment H. Professor, why should Coloradans care to know anything about Amendment H?
Envision corruption at the highest levels, involving extortion and years of misconduct by judges kept hush by those responsible for judicial oversight. Well, in 2021, a scandalous story broke by Shelley Bradbury in the Denver Post about a $2.5 million contract that was approved by a state Supreme Court justice to be paid to a court administrator who kept misconduct complaints under wraps. As you might imagine, this sent state lawmakers into damage control mode. And notably, Amendment H is one of 3 legislative actions taken this session related to the judiciary. Essentially, Coloradans are voting on reform.
What is the current judicial discipline process, and if Amendment H passes, how will it change?
So, the Commission on Judicial Discipline will continue to review complaints, but in formal phases now, 4 judges, lawyers, and citizens will replace the special judges who do this. Amendment H would also cost $50,000 a year, but would allow costs from investigations of judges to be footed by them.
Professor, what are the arguments for and against Amendment H?
Great question. So the Judicial Integrity Project would argue that H is the illusion of transparency and independence, is expedient, and is indistinguishable from the current system since less than 1% of complaints make it to formal phases, based on commission statistics. Legislatures and judicial figures argue that H is a stride toward judicial accountability, as the public is brought in earlier in the process and data of complaints will be made accessible.
So, Professor, you're saying a no vote means the same select panel of judges will continue to hear complaints, and these complaints will largely remain confidential, while a yes vote means an independent board is created to hear cases of misconduct, and the complaints are shared with the public earlier in the process.
Not too shabby.